Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Hour number 3 coming your way. It's Matt Baiamonte holding it down without Mitch Harper. He'll be back next week. Talked a lot of football and a lot of basketball on this show. Something I love about BYU sports, guys, is it is incredible how often during the off season you think maybe there's nothing to talk about, and then there's always things, there's always news. And I think as we get further into the summer, one thing that's sort of fallen off my radar, but it's certainly going to come back, BYU's AD search. Like it's sort of flown under the radar because of the transfer portal and basketball, and AJ DeBonta, who posted a video working it out in the annex earlier in the week. Like there's been so much stuff you almost forget. There's an AD search going on. President Reese, Keith Vorkink, and others heavily in the weeds on finding the next athletic director to replace Tom Homo. That's going to happen at some point. But even while we wait, there's still interesting things that happen. And last week on the show, we reacted to Jimmer Fredette retiring from the game of basketball. And I think a lot of people wondered, what was he going to do? Because the last time we saw him, he had high hopes for winning a gold medal in 3-on-3 basketball at the Olympics. That did not happen. And then he retired, and then you were wondering, what's he going to do? We've seen him a little bit on BYU TV. We know he's been involved in some venture capitalist stuff. What's the next thing for Jimmer Fredette? Well, we have at least a partial answer to that question. Jimmer Fredette became the first... became's not the right word, and I'm dragging the T's out a little bit here, but this is for dramatic pause. Jimmer Fredette was hired as the first managing director of the USA basketball 3-on-3 men's national team, a team in which helped him catapult Fredette to the number 1 player in the world in that sport. This is what Fredette said in a statement. When I got the call from USA Basketball about playing 3-on-3, I didn't know what to expect. I found out quickly that I love the competition, the energy, and the style. 3x3 fits my game and my personality. I made friends throughout my journey who will forever be a part of my life. I also saw an opportunity to be able to grow the sport within the USA. I absolutely grew to love the sport as well during the Olympics. It was so much fun to watch. It's so high-paced. There's so much action. And now Jimmer Fredette will be the man in charge of getting the right coaches in place, picking the right players, getting ready for the next Olympic run. GM, so to speak, but official title being managing director. He spoke more at length as to why this opportunity was of interest to Jimmer. Here's what Jimmer said earlier in the week.
It was about 3 months ago. At that point, I was still going through my rehab for my torn adductor from the Olympics. Got a text from USA Basketball. He calls me up and he's like, hey, just wanted to check in, see how things were going. And I was like, well, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I was thinking about coming back and maybe trying a World Cup or something like that where, I can try to finish it off on the right foot. He's like, okay, that's great, that's awesome, but we do have another opportunity. We're moving to a managing director role for USA Basketball for the 3x3 program. Your name come up as a possibility, and we would love for you to be able to do that. Like, it's a lot of responsibility, but also a huge honor that they would think of me. As soon as I actually heard that, I started to really think about it, be like, what do I want to do? And I felt like this was the right opportunity for me to just pounce on.
Great stuff from Jimmer Fredette. And kind of interesting, too, that his original plan was to rehab and get back to playing shape and make a run at a World Cup gold. But I think this is a great move for Jimmer Fredette. He gets to stay within the game of basketball. If he has success at the 3x3 level, who knows what other opportunities there could be. That could lead to coaching. That could lead to front office stuff in the NBA. That could lead to work at BYU in some capacity. Who knows? But I think he has so much experience in 3-on-3, and he was so good at it. I think this is great. And then I also love, too, just from a 3-on-3 perspective, because before Jimmer got there, how many of you at home had heard of 3-on-3 or ever watched 3-on-3? Because I had not. I mean, you knew about it a little bit, but I had never seriously watched high-level, Olympic-level 3-on-3 basketball. I never have until Jimmer. And then you watched and you loved it. The only problem was a lot of these international games were at a bad time, so you couldn't watch it live. But I was glued to the Olympics when Jimmer was in there. And gosh, it was heartbreaking when he got hurt. But there's opportunity in that sport. And who better to help grow it, as Jimmer said, here in the United States of America than Jimmer Fredette. Picking players, assembling teams. I love it. I think it is a great move for Jimmer. I think it's a great move for USA Basketball. And I'm going to be fascinated to watch this team into future World Cups, into future Olympics with Jimmer at the helm. And I love it. And it happened fast. And now it makes more sense, the timing of the retirement, because it did sort of come out of left field. Like he had been... The Olympics had passed for a long time. That was last summer. We're coming up on summer of 2025. The 2024 Olympics are well in the rearview mirror. There was no instant retirement announcement. And so you just wondered, what's the next move? Maybe he's going to come back. Maybe he's going to keep playing. Does he stick around for another Olympic run? And then the retirement announcement came, and it was sort of like, what does this mean? What is he doing next? Well, he retired because he got offered this opportunity, and this opportunity was too good to pass up. And I think it makes all the sense in the world. I can't wait to talk to him next about how this opportunity came about, what his plans are going to be. I'm sure it's a steep learning curve, going from playing to evaluating coaching and players and building rosters. It takes time, and it is a unique skill. But I think Jimmer is in a perfect place of his life to make this move, and it's really exciting. I think the sky's the limit for 3-on-3 because it is so dang fun to watch, and you just love the energy, you love the shot making. In a day and age where every sport seems to be getting longer, basketball games in the playoffs are long. Football games, as we know, are north of 4 hours. There's all these TV timeouts and breaks. 3-on-3 is short. It's constant action. That's something I loved about the game. And now Jimmer's going to be a part of it, hopefully for a long, long time, and he brings the USA a lot of success. All right, let's take a break. More to go in the world of BYU athletics. Football, basketball, tons of news this week. We'll keep reacting to everything that occurred in this past week here on Cougar Sports Saturday.